see us a lot. You see some of the executive staff, and we've been running a lot of stuff, so you have a tendency to come and see us very frequently, right? But you're not going to see the board members as frequently, right? So we actually have 2 board members here today, and we just want to go ahead and swear them in. So it's going to be Web Gapsa from Michigan EDC and Jayshree Bhatt from ITA Meeting.
I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution and the laws of the State of Texas, and the policies of South Texas Information Technology Association. During my term, I will faithfully and impartially discharge the responsibility of the office to the best of my ability. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you for 2 new official board members. So we'll try to get into the meeting and cut into the meeting very quickly because we have a great presentation coming up very soon. So for all of you, I'm sure that a lot of people have already come to our meetings before. We're the South Texas Information Technology Association. Just quickly, by show of hands, how many people, this is basically their first meeting here? Okay, so we've got a lot of new individuals here. So before you actually walked in, you might have seen that. That's basically our exempt purpose statement. That's essentially what we do. We plan on providing academic, professional development, and educational opportunities to aspiring and current technicians, as well as developing IT infrastructure in the Valley and also increasing job growth. So that's what we do here, and a lot of the programs that you see, you're going to see that are perfectly aligned with that exempt purpose, right? So I just want to talk slightly about membership very quick. A lot of people already know about the membership. We have a membership fee of about $25. It's not very expensive, and that's just to cover the cost of like administering out ID cards, especially buying the ID card maker, as well as providing with ID cards. For people that don't know about the membership IDs are actually NFC capable. So they're almost like electronic business cards. So if you have certain types of phones, like iPhones, and most iPhones and Samsung Androids, they have NFC payment systems already embedded in that device, right? So all you have to do is go to the back of that phone when you swipe open, and just put the card right in the back, and it'll transfer the data for your contact information. Or in this sense, it's going to be whatever you put on our website, right? So that brings me to my next conversation with you all. A lot of people were here for the last meeting, and the last meeting actually our application development manager, Aus, he was the one that actually developed that application on his own. So it's been a rough challenge, actually developing that application, but we finally got it up and running. It's secured, so now you can make payments for membership, and most importantly, fill out that data that's on your membership page. It's almost like LinkedIn. If you can export the stuff from your LinkedIn and just put it on that membership page, it's great. Why? Because, like I said, the NFC business card, it's almost like a walking resume. So you just go, put it on somebody's phone, they have your resume, right? Great for hires. Just make sure, that's going to be on our membership link on our stid.org account. So make sure to go to stid.org and get your membership. So membership benefits include 20% off of 555, which a lot of people are already familiar with, right? New members actually today, I just spoke with 555. If you're new today, make sure to let me know, because it's a contribution from them, and they want to give you the first pint on them, right? So also membership IDs, discounts, program opportunity and access for people that know about our tech control and our Teach IT programs that have been pretty successful in the past. Networking also just coming here, and networking, talking to different people, access to different events that we're eventually going to have in the future. Community involvement and future research publications, right? So we're collaborating with different types of organizations, and I think some of the biggest organizations that can wield a lot of publications and research is, of course, our UTA. They've done a great job at establishing different types of policies, right? Especially, we were just talking about internships and what they're trying to do in the private and public sector, right? So they're great about that, as well as Texas Workforce Solutions. They've been really cooperative in this type of information technology opportunities, right? So any questions on membership? If you have any questions, just make sure to state your name and go ahead and state your question so we can get it on camera and we can put it into our minutes. So tech control program, a lot of people already know about the tech control program. I'm not going to really go deep into it because we want to get to our presentational speaker, all right? So if you have any questions about the tech control program, just let us know, but this is a great opportunity for entry-level technicians or even certified technicians to get their hands on real dynamic projects, because a lot of different projects are static in nature. Even if you do it in a classroom, it's static in nature. And why is that? Primarily just because you're doing it in a classroom. Do you ever interact with a customer? Probably not, right? Information technology professionals, they're gradually over time, they're becoming more into, they're basically reaching to that customer service sector, and you need to be able to talk to customers. And most importantly, align with your services with the needs of that customer, right? So they don't show you how to do that in typical classroom environments typically, right? So we try to provide that opportunity through the tech control program where you can actually work on site and deal with customers firsthand, right? So we've had a lot of successful engagements. In fact, I believe a couple of people were here today. We actually had an emergency engagement just about 2 days ago for troubleshooting. So that went successful. I know that they were just trying to help out with it was just a virtual connection that they were having problems with on Spectrum, but eventually they got that figured out and it worked out very, very well, right? So some of the upcoming tech control programs, some of the upcoming jobs is going to be a San Juan's adjuster office. So actually, Robert Boris from over here from Force Technologies is the one that found that. You don't know who you are. Yeah, so he was the one that found that job for us, and we thank him for that. So it's going to be a data backup and encryption. So possibly a RAID 1 implementation as well. Restaurant upcoming visit. We're going to be making a visit pretty soon, and that's just for cable management, as it seems, right? And we have one for Museum of South Texas History. So we solidified that already. So we're going to be providing customer support to some of their devices, and we're trying to establish a temporary workstation here locally. So that way, whenever you have some issues, with computer support, you can come here, learn how to actually virtually connect to each of their devices and find out what the issues are. So it's great for troubleshooting experience. And most importantly, remember, for people that are in the tech control program, make sure to put it on your resume. Make sure to list the different types of projects that you actually do. So I know that you go to these projects and people just, like I said just in the past, we just did a small project. Make sure that you list those different types of projects because it's crucial, right? People will look at that. Make sure that you put like what type of items that you cover in that specific project. It's a great opportunity to beef up your resume. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to send me an email at agarcia@org if you have any questions regarding the tech control program. But is any direct questions right now? No? Okay. So Project Plus course, this is something that you've already seen, so I'm not going to dive much into it. This is more for also working professionals and people that would like to learn a little bit more about project management, right? So that we're going to be covering the Project Plus course. It's an entry-level project management course for people that don't have the capability to get into PMP yet, right? If you ever do get into PMP, which I've got a lot of questions, I actually refer them to UTRB Continuing Education. They have a great project management professional course that they have through the CD department. So if you have any questions, you can talk to Jim Bob up here. So for people that want to get into entry-level Project Plus, this is a great opportunity. And in fact, one of the big things about Project Plus nowadays is that everybody needs some type of cost orientation in every department, right? And the most important part of doing IT is also maintaining the costs and maintaining project numbers, right? So this course is going to take place from April 15th through the 29th, 2019. Yes, you're off Easter Sunday for people that celebrate Easter Sunday. We don't want to leave into that. 40 hours. It's going to be 40 hours, and that's the typical amount to complete a Project Plus course, right? So it's going to be from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And on Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can connect online too, so you don't have to be here in person. If you don't want to be here in person, right, you can get connected on Zoom. If not, we encourage you to come here. The EDC was nice enough to provide us with a facility to host these classes. And in fact, our instructor here today is Dennis Stewart. He's actually Project Plus certified and getting a CTP Plus certification. So he's taught before. He's done a great job at it. In fact, he's a project manager for the region for ITA. So he's experienced this firsthand. So he's not only applied these different types of techniques, he's also, you read about it, properly certified too. So it's $1,500, and typically the reason why we say it's $1,500 is because we're trying to cover most of the cost, right? But They're typically valued at $24.95, so anytime you see a Project Plus class, it's going to be really expensive, right? One thing too is if you're a student, we can work with you as well. So if you're a student, you want to get involved with the Project Plus course and you're not affiliated with the company, you're more than welcome to come to us and we can talk about it. Stidipolo. So anybody that doesn't have a Stidipolo, yes, I use Stidipolo. I know you're looking at me, right? So we have Stidipolos at MCM. They're going to be $22.95 and then $5 for each patch. So if you're involved with Tech Control or Teach IT, you get those patches on the left-hand side. So those are $5 each. So if you want to get involved and get your shirt, you get your name, including the position. If you're a member or you're part of a committee, I encourage you to be a part of a committee, which we're going to talk about briefly in a minute. Go ahead and go get your shirts and get that committee on your shirt. So committees right now, so these are kind of the life of our organization as well, and especially when you're trying to get involved, right? So we just established a cyber committee. What we're trying to do is we're trying to create awareness procedures, right? Especially in the social engineering space for banking. And I'm not talking about information technology department in banking. We're talking about typical administrative positions, right? Because a lot of people don't realize how social engineering can negatively affect banking institutions, right? So we want to be able to at least, of course, we're going to establish a goal. We want to be able to at least instruct at least a group of no less than about 10 individuals, for about, could be anywhere between 30 to minutes to an hour at one branch every month. You know, so we want to be able to breed awareness. Not only does breeding awareness allow us to allow administration to understand the effects of social engineering, hopefully this in the future will increase the level of awareness at the banking institution level for HR managers. It at least opens us up to having that discussion about establishing new jobs in the cybersecurity space in banking institutions and financial markets, right? So, App Development Committee, actually Alice is working on that App Development Committee. We're trying to develop a Tech Control app right now, so that's what the App Committee is going to be working on. The Tech Control app, the way that's going to work is we're trying to shift from basically one-time projects for Tech Control to consistent projects where you're able to maintain and troubleshoot every day, right? So we're trying to do more monthly contract with people in the community. The only question is, how do we stay connected with you, right? That's going to be done through the Tech Control app. The Tech Control application will send you an alert, and one of our administrators, which would be our career development officer, he would get on there, he would look at the job, knowing the customer and the client. He would say, how many people would it be safe, as in terms of OSHA requirements, to have here learning on site? So let's say it's a small space and there's only 3 or 4 people allowed in that space, then it's going to show a total seats for 4 available seats. And the first 4 to get on those seats are the people that are going to be attending that specific like educational opportunity, right? So we're going to try to do stuff like that. A lot of computer support, at least, it's going to be done here locally, you know, because you're going to be signing in virtually, unless it's a really, really big issue. Yeah. Wireless committee. I know that the wireless committee has been coming up with some new stuff. One talk that they were having about is the Boy Scouts here at Lions Park. They're requiring some internet access, and I know actually Michael Hilton and some of the other wireless committee members, they were working on that. So that's one of the projects that you might want to get in on. Of course, it's a charitable project, so we're just trying to help them so that way they get connectivity. Because right now they're doing mostly paper-based type of stuff, right? So any questions about committees? In fact, one thing that I would like to do is people that are involved in committees, if you want to be part of some cyber committee, you want to be part of the wireless committee, or you want to be part of the application development committee, when we go out and eat in a minute, I would like for you guys to sit in a group and kind of contemplate ideas, right? Try to write them down, you know, and get more people involved in your committees, because that's how we actually conduct work, right? So I would encourage you, when we go out there, we're going to eat halal, guys. Or people that like halal, guys, right? We're going to eat halal, guys, and make sure to grab your plates and sit down in a group, especially more function-oriented, like application development committees, like I said. So you can talk about some of the projects that you might want to present. Remember, this is a member-motivated organization. This is not an officer-led organization. It's a member-led, right? So if you have ideas, bring them up, because we can do a lot together. Any questions? No? Okay, so then I guess we'll get on to guest speaker. Thank you very much. Deanna Berger from NetSync Network Solutions.
Thanks very much, Andy. This is my second time that I've been to this ITA meeting, and I just love all the things that are happening here. It's really exciting to have an organization like this, and I look forward to coming to more meetings. I'll be co-presenting today with J.R. Padilla, y'all may know Melissa. JR is a solutions architect at NetSync. So while this is syncing, I can do my, I think it went up a few slides, but I have to do my 1-minute commercial for NetSync. So NetSync is a technology value-added reseller. We were started by a Houston ISD engineer almost 18 years ago. So that's my first lesson, right, is you can do anything. He's still the head of our company, and he has gone from 0 to 300 million in 17 years. That is phenomenal growth. That's a really exciting part of the company. In McAllen, we have 16 people in the McAllen office, and we have over 50 CCIEs in the state of Texas, and we're very quickly growing into other states, Florida, California, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Illinois, and federal space. So today what we want to do is I'm going to share with you a little presentation that I call Make It Happen. Then I thought it would be appropriate to bring someone like JR that may be a lot closer to where you all are in your careers, because I'm really, really old, right? To talk about what he knows now that he didn't know then. And then we'll talk about salaries, because I think that's something that's always just kind of interesting to everybody in the tech field, right? And again, feel free to be interactive and talk about things as we go. So a little bit about myself. That is myself. A year ago, I became a U.S. citizen. So I grew up in Brownsville. I was born in Mexico City. And I've lived in the Valley almost all my life, except for the years that I went off to Austin and did a little bit of work out of the area, and then came back to McAllen over 30 years ago. I have 2 lovely daughters who both grew up in McAllen, lived in New York City. That's my mom also. I have a Bachelor of Business Administration from UT Austin in Management Information Systems. Back then we used to call it Data Processing and Analysis. And it was the second class ever that graduated in that degree program. And I have a Master's in Educational Technology from UT RGV. And I've spent over 30 years in the technology field. This is my world. So as y'all know, and if you kind of look around the room, technology is a super male-dominated field. And networking is the male-dominated field of the male-dominated field, right? And trust me, when I was a little girl, I didn't go like, I want to be in networking when I grow up, you know. But the reason that I'm pointing this out is just to say that you all need to do whatever you are passionate about, right? Trust me, every person I ever come across in my career said, why are you doing technology? Especially back then. There were fewer women in the field back then than there are now, if you can believe that. As a matter of fact, somebody should probably take a picture of this group because I can add y'all to my slide. Because you kind of look like these groups here, right? So when this is a presentation that I've actually done for some STC students and a career fair that I did. And what I really wanted to do was when I was kind of thinking back about what are the things that I think people should know about in this field, I came up with this 10 ways to make it happen. And every time we say make it happen, we're going to do like the air quotes. Make it happen has become a very big joke in my family. It actually really annoys my children so much because whenever they complain about something at work or something in life, I just say, well, just make it happen, you know? But now it's become just more of a joke. But I really do believe that you can either let things happen to you in life or you can make things happen. And this is very, very true in the professional world. So the first thing is you need to get a ton of education, right? Now this may not mean your traditional education. In our world, certifications are golden. If you have a CCIE, we don't care if you have a bachelor's degree. Typically, not all the time, right? Their CCIEs are pretty hard to get. You're going to be out there making $150,000 plus with your CCIE. But what you don't ever want to do is set yourself up for a situation where you cannot get a job that you want because of that little piece of paper that you don't have, right? So cert, education, super important. As a matter of fact, there's a person here in this room and they know who they are, who I tried to recruit not long ago and found out they didn't have a bachelor's degree. They have then since gone back to school and we're waiting for them to finish their classes. And this is a perfect example of a situation where Sometimes the classes help you, sometimes they don't, but you need to have that piece of paper or that certification. And that's one of the things I love about STIDA, is y'all are really helping people go out and get those certifications. When we have open positions, we get a big old stack of resumes, and if you don't have something, certs, some kind of expertise, some kind of experience, even if it's volunteer, whatever it is, you're going to get thrown in that other pile of the notes, right? So they definitely help you differentiate yourself. The other thing is do things that you like. Like at my age, people hate their jobs. My friends are miserable in their jobs, most of them. They're counting the days to retirement. Like, I love my job. I don't even plan on retirement at this point, right? Because it's just so fun. So I know it's kind of obvious, right, to say this, but I think sometimes people may go for the money and may go for something that's convenient. Really just go out there. And even in the tech field, when I was talking to our team, I was saying, so what are some things that you know now that you wish you'd known? And just how deep the tech field is, right? Even just in networking, how many pieces there are. In programming, how many pieces there are. So even within the tech field, make sure you go out there and you figure out what it is that you're really passionate about. The next thing is I have felt like that person pushing that ball up the hill so many times, and I hate to generalize, but I'm going to generalize, okay? There is a little bit of an attitude nowadays among some of the younger generations and millennials and some of the others that, you have a couple of bad days at work and it's like, I'm out here. No. You have to be very long-term thinkers. You're going to have some of those bad days, and trust me, when you get to the top, it'll be worth it. So just be super persistent in anything that you're doing. This is a little saying I came across not long ago. A dream without a plan isn't a dream at all. It's a wish. So, when y'all talk amongst your friends, and so many people I talk to, they're like, yeah, I want to be an IT director one day, or I want to be a network specialist, or whatever it is. But you need to have a plan. The last meeting that I attended was a meeting where David Plummer, Dr. Plummer from STC spoke, and he talked about where do you see yourself in 5 years. You really need to think about that. And a plan isn't just like, I'm going to be an IT director one day. It is, I am going to register for this class. I'm going to take that project plus. I'm going to do these specific things to get there. And you always have to be working on your plan and revising your plan. Next is to find a mentor. I wish I had done more of this earlier in my career. And a mentor can be anybody. It can be a friend, a parent, it can be a coworker. But get somebody that's doing the things that you want to do and talk to them. Now, some people don't want to take the time to mentor you, right? But there are lots of people that are out there that want to see you be successful. And you'll not make the early mistakes that some of us make, like I did early on, if you do find that mentor. The other thing that really annoys my kids, again, is when I talk about when you're in a job, you always want to be like at least 1 or 2 steps ahead. And again, part of the plan, part of figuring out where you want to go. The current job is always about the next job. And you want to know, what are the educational requirements for that job that you want? And not only that, but even just some more subtle things like, how do the people dress that are in that job? What kind of meetings do they go to? How do they present themselves? It's very important to, again, just have that plan, always looking to the next step. Then there's integrity. This isn't talked about too often, but it is shocking to me. I guess I've been super naive, but shocking to me how many times I've been asked to do something that's inappropriate, unethical, and sometimes flat out illegal. You need to decide that you're going to have the integrity to say no. Sometimes people are just looking to see, like, who's going to play ball here, right? And sometimes you have to put your job on the line. I know people that have left their jobs, had to quit their jobs, or been fired from their jobs because they said no to things that were not appropriate. So what I've learned at my age is that all you really have is your name and your reputation and your integrity. And if you lose it, it's super hard to get back. So you have to just tell yourself that even if your boss is telling you to do something, or somebody in an organization is telling you to do something, you're not going to do it because your integrity is worth more than that. Number 8. I love this one because if you work as many hours as I work, I'm a total workaholic, you're at work all the time, and our jobs are the excuse through which you get to love people. I'm so super good friends with people that I work with in my different organizations that I work in. And if you get to know the people that you work with, and you become more, it's such a cliche, but become a family, right? The people that you work with, you will love going to work every day. And they will support you through your ups and downs. If anybody's read any of the seven habits of highly effective people by Stephen Covey, it's all about deposits and withdrawals. And get to know the people that you work with. It will really make a difference in your professional life. Number 9, pay it forward. This works in a lot of different ways. You may think you don't have enough experience yet to pay it forward to somebody, but there's always someone else coming up behind you. Plus, a really important thing, one of the big mistakes I made early in my career is I would just hire like the smartest people. Like, oh my God, that guy's brilliant, I'm gonna hire him. Now, I don't care if you're smart. If you're not a team player and you're not willing to mentor the people around you, I don't want you on my team. I don't want you in my organization. So there are a lot of different ways to pay it forward. You know, it's so funny because techie people, a lot of times we just think like, there's so many people that are like, I'm not telling anybody how I'm doing this because then if I tell other people, they're not gonna need me anymore. It's the exact opposite. If I have somebody in my organization that's mentoring and sharing, and they're going to do really well in the organization. And that holds true for others as well. And then finally, kind of going back to that make it happen thing, this is something that I tell myself all the time. Visualize it, and then you have to believe it. And a lot of people do that. They'll visualize it, hey, I have this great idea for an app or something like that. And then they might even believe it. But how many people actually take action? So that's the thing you really have to do. And it's something you have to think about all the time. Where do you see yourself? Visualize it, believe it, and take action. So again, whenever you think about it, whenever you're feeling like, oh, life is not fair or something, it's like just go out there and make it happen. So that would be a good idea to bring Jay around to just talk about some of the things he's learned through this process as well.
First big thing from like the moment I walked into the NetSync's office that I realized I had no idea about was the field that I'm applying for. There was so much into just this one networking field, just add a touch of it. So being an IT association, I'm assuming most people here, if they don't already, are looking to get a job in IT. Who here is trying to find a job in IT right now? And what field of IT?
Initially desktop support. I have a lot of leadership experience, so maybe that's sort of
That's not know back here. What field?
Cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity, okay. See, so we got 3 different IT fields there. Most often I hear, I just want to work in IT, or when you're looking for jobs, I start seeing people apply for nothing but help desk. Help desk is a great first step, but it's definitely not the only first step. So there's analyst, SOC, NOC analyst, so cybersecurity, security analyst is usually one of the first steps. Internships for sure, which is what RGB IT Association is trying to build more of. Or there's implementation technicians where I got to start racking and stacking networking equipment. There's a lot of first steps, and most often people are just looking at help desk. So whatever field you want to go in, start going down the rabbit hole of all the different kinds of positions there. Even just cybersecurity alone, you're going to have people that strictly do blue team stuff, like some of the teams I work with. But we're just implementing firewalls, endpoint protection, edge security, like different kinds of security for certain environments. And you got someone on the complete other end, like one of our old interns and my friend Tom, that he's going to penetration testing. You have other people that are actually working on bug hunting, or like I said, security analysts, a whole bunch of fields in just one thing. Same thing goes for programs, same thing goes for networking. So there's a lot of homework to see what rabbit hole you want to go down. And that's also how I ended up where I'm at right now. I went back to school for repairing computers. I was a big PC gamer, and I figured, hey, I know how to build PCs, so let me get a degree that says that I know how to fix a computer. Took a networking class, and realized this is where I've learned the most, and I really like this stuff. So I switched to networking program. Networking program took me to fundamental security class, and I realized, okay, now this is my favorite of all these things. So I just went further down the rabbit hole. And then once I got to NetSync and I got to have other people around me that had been in this field doing it for years and years, another thing came up that I wish I had way before, and that is free resources. There's free resources for tons of things. Who here is currently studying to get a certification? What certification and what resources are you using right now?
Number plus, I'm using the CompTIA CertMaster. ISO 4.
I'm sorry, which is?
ISO 4.
Okay. And what resources are you using for that?
It's a combination of both and online course.
Perchance, anybody right now looking into security certifications? Okay. The one reason I bring this up is, for one, other professionals always have older books. That's one place to get. Myself going to security, our security practice manager opened me up to a great site for learning tons of things in security. It's called Cyber. Everything from security plus to penetration testing to bug hunting, all this stuff there is for free. For those of you in the wireless committee, there's actually a site, Wireless Line Professionals, that has a lending library that you can borrow different kinds of wireless technology, whether it's access points, controllers, and access points from different vendors. Tons of stuff, and completely free. You just pay like $20 for shipping, and they'll lend you the equipment. The only requirement is that you write a paper on whatever you borrow. Like that. And if you don't know where to find resources, then try and find some of us that work in the field. Guarantee you we're going to have plenty of resources, and we're going to be very eager to share them. Oh, huge. That's the thing's really huge. One, you're never going to stop learning. in most any field, and especially in security, non-stop learning. There's never one person that knows it all, and you will never know it all, right? Every field is always growing, and there's always another field that you should become familiar with in order to improve yourself in your field. And the big surprise probably is I was surprised at how much networking there was in networking. My first couple months at Lansing was nothing but meeting so many people, shaking so many hands. IT directors, technicians, administrators, just everybody, and the master of networking herself right here. Every time I go to any IT related place, there is probably 90% of people, when I mention Diana's name, like, oh yeah, I know her, yeah, we've worked here. Just networking is a huge part of this.
I'm old.
Oh yeah, that was a big step.
She's wise.
For sure.
So Jared, why don't you tell them a little bit about, Jared started as an intern.
I started as an intern, like I said, racking and stacking. So network switches, APs, bolting those in, connecting them, or setting up the access points, hundreds of them throughout the school. But while doing that, working alongside the engineers, looking at the configurations, how they're building it, and slowly then letting me take over different parts of those projects. And right before I officially got hired, I got to completely design the network for one of our deployments. So then I got hired as a lead technician, got my CCNA, got hired as a lead technician from there. And then not even a month later, sat down with our cybersecurity practice manager, and he talked to me for a good hour or so, and said, oh, that's great, we need another cybersecurity engineer. We're gonna make a position for you. What? Okay. It just started a month ago, officially. And that turned into a solutions architect role, and that's where I've been for the past year or so. But it all went really quickly, and just, again, non-stop learning, non-stop networking. Yeah.
So what is it that y'all want to know about either our organization or salaries or positions or what are y'all interested in? Pardon me?
Job openings,
Job openings, yeah.
listings.
Yeah, well, and that's part of, it's really interesting in the Valley because employers were always going, we can't find people. We can never find qualified people. And students are always going, we can't find jobs. So we started a different organization, Rio Grande Valley Technology Association. We're working real closely with STEDA, and we're trying to create some sort of a clearinghouse where we can make that connection, right? Because it's really funny when you get people together, that's what you hear over and over again. And what we found is that it's really this gap that right when you get out and you don't really have a lot of experience, and all of our positions require minimum of 2 years, but really we're looking more for like 5 years experience. I had a position down here that pays over $100,000 that is still vacant to this day, data center engineer, because we don't have data center engineers down here, right? So there's some high-level positions, but there's a lot of mid-level positions, so we're very focused on internships, and again, just trying to start connecting people. Maybe you start with the unpaid internship, and you can maybe move to the paid entry-level position, and then, you know, we can hire locally instead of, number one, our good people, a lot of them leave, and number two, we sometimes have to bring people down because we can't find the people locally. So, that's, anything else y'all are interested in? Okay, well, thank you very much. I actually have some swag in here. I don't even know, the marketing people sent it to me. So after the meeting, yeah, make sure that y'all, I think we have some, what are these, hangover kits?
Yeah.
They're hangover kits.
It comes with Tylenol, vitamin
Yeah. So one cool thing about working for a company is whenever there's conferences or everything, we always have awesome events. So you will need this hangover kit.
Oh, yeah, that's another.
So thanks again. If y'all have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming and talking a lot about job opportunities. I know this has been really difficult for a lot of people to find jobs in information technology. It has a lot to do with, I mean, obviously the technicality of the subject. I mean, if you consider information technology, it is a very difficult subject. There are a lot of, it's a widespread type of discipline. I mean, you have networking, cyber, you have computer support and everything, right? So I just wanted to come back and say, make sure that you leverage the resources that you get when you come to these meetings, right? So I mean, you're here in a networking session, make sure that you get to network, make sure that you get to talk to people, because I know whenever we go out and go grab something to eat, people have a tendency to sit in their own spots, and it happens very frequently. You know, we want to be able to create a community here. You know, we're a membership-driven organization, like I said. Try to get to network with one another. And if you have any questions, I'm sure that Deanna and everybody else in front would be willing to answer any questions that you have. You know, so on an ending note, I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the future opportunities that we have here at Stidham, right? So one of the big things is going to be an IT management committee, which we were talking about with Dennis. So people that are involved in getting to IT management, now we're talking about developing different types of skill sets necessary to get into not just project management. You're talking about Lean Six Sigma and IT. So I've done Lean Six Sigma myself, and I've done straight Six Sigma myself, and I've seen it it's very effective in the manufacturing sector, that's for sure, and it could be very effective in the community service sector as well, right? So when you're getting to information technology, Six Sigma is a big thing regarding quality, right? And quality is very important in information services. Why? Because troubleshooting is the cost, not going with those quality options, right? So being able to invest in IT governance, being able to invest in project management, being able to invest in quality management through Six Sigma, they're great opportunities, and that's some stuff that we're trying to offer in the future. In fact, right now we're going through Texas Workforce Solutions to get to become an eligible training provider. So pretty soon, maybe in the next 6 months or so, if people are unemployed, you're able to access our programs completely free. So in addition to that also brings us to also us offering some server classes. Right now I'm trying to apply for a grant for server specifically, and that's it's just a little bit of news of what we're trying to do right now. And that server class is going to specify on Server Plus, Cloud Plus, different types of areas in that section, and that's just basically to diversify the workforce down here primarily. Because a lot of people have a heavy wielding section, especially in the A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus, like cyber, computer support, and networking. But when it comes down to cloud and server, we have a tendency to shy away from those areas. So we're going to try to build robust regions in those areas, right? And in fact, one of the things that I'm trying to apply for that grant specifically is to actually get servers down here and do data backups from communities, build IT infrastructure outside the community. You know? And the cool thing about the DC is that we're above sea level every night, right? Yeah, so every time it floods down here, it's perfectly safe, right? So we want to be able to do data backups, and of course you're going to be able to work on live dynamic servers. That's one of the biggest things that we're trying to get. Also, if you know anybody in Laredo, we actually got the opportunity to expand to Laredo. So we're going to start doing that pretty soon too. So, but does anybody have any questions, concerns, announcements? Also, RUTA, any announcements on RUTA stuff?
No, just that, so it's kind of funny because we're a technology organization, but our technology and our social is horrible. But we're working on it. Judy's actually getting up the committee to work on some of our social and all that. And really, just we'll probably be coming back and sharing the information that we had as we develop the intern program, because I think that's something that can help all of us.
So make sure if you ever have some time, tap into RUTA's network on ruta.org, ruta.org, tap into the network and chance to interviews. So it's a great opportunity. And that's actually interesting because we were just talking about that right now. We have all these IT issues and we have a room full of IT people and we're like, oh man, what's going on? Yeah, that sounds great. So does anybody have any other announcements? Questions, concerns?
Question. So the applicant you were saying earlier that the one with the idea and everything, he actually worked on it. He actually found it.
We're actually gonna start working on that. The application. I don't know if you want to explain that question for us.
So you say that you're referring to the linking the
Yes.
cards to the application. We're working on that. I mean, we already have the. I mean, whenever you create your account, right, you generate like an ID that is unique, right, inside the application, and that's the one that we want to link to the NFC card. So whenever somebody has the NFC card, it will right directly to your profile. It doesn't work this way.
Yes.
And actually, we want to build the application to grow it in the future, so it will become our platform. And that's why I want to talk about with the people that are interested in the web development community, the app development, to how we can do it as a group, right? So we can get the experience to work with that web development. So if you're interested, anybody that's interested, after the meeting, we can actually talk about it. Right?
Congratulations.
So Andy, one thing I do want to say is B-Sides is looking for presenters. They have a couple of presentations out. And you don't have to be like a cybersecurity expert to do it. Last year they had an individual from UTRGV, younger individual, who just talked about how he worked on his cybersecurity certification, the resources that he used, things like that. It doesn't have to be, some cybersecurity guru, but they would like to have more presence from the local community.
Sounds good. So any more concerns? Other than that, I just want you to get this contact information out. Snap a picture of it. If you're not on our Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, make sure to snap a picture of it because that's how you stay connected with the IT community. We also post up with our PTA stuff too. So if you want to, if you want to go ahead and add us, especially on Facebook.